Good morning. My headphones working. Yeah, I can see the sound coming through. Akwaaba, Wamu. Welcome to the Sunday family morning. Steph, Queen P, D-Man. Hope Monica's healing up well. Morning to B, and anyone I can't see on the live chat. Hope everyone is well. It's pretty cold today, snowing outside down here in London, and I guess in other parts of the UK. If you're joining from overseas, welcome as well. We're going to have a 45-minute flow today. Hope everyone's had a good week. I'll try and mix up a little bit with the flow. Again, if it's new to you, the main thing is to go at your pace. Just really try and connect your breath to your bodily movements. If you're experienced, then challenge yourself by going slower. And I like to just think about dropping the ego. If I can do a beginner's class and I can do my arm balances, but I'm told not to, that's more of a challenge. So just try and let's flow together if we can. Maury, welcome. Excellent. Have some water handy if you need it, and maybe a towel. We are going to start. We're going to start in a seated position. So let's all come together on our mats. Remember, it's a 45-minute flow. At any point, feel free to come into child's pose or onto your knees. And I'll come into my knees to start, or come into a seated position. Let's come into a very, very quick breathing exercise, a pranayama, just to center ourselves, ground ourselves, and start to connect ourselves to our breath. So place your hands on your thighs and just close your eyes. Just close your eyes and just find yourself really being, as like say, present here on the mat. Just let go of anything that you might be carrying, any sort of headache, any troubles, any worries. Just give yourself time for the next 45 minutes just to be present for yourself. And as you're sitting here, just see if your shoulders are hunched. If they are, just soften them, let them relax. Just notice your breath, your lungs expanding and contracting. I'm going to start with a breath exercise called box breathing. So we're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and hold for the count of 4, and repeat that. So go around in a square. So let's all start together on the inhale. I'm going to breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. And let's go again. Inhale. 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Together we exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Let's go for one more round at your own pace. Hold the breath. Relax the shoulders. Release. 2, 3, 4. And hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Just blink open your eyes if your eyes are closed. Let's just shake out the arms. Just shift the neck from left to right. Don't exaggerate it or don't force it. Just let it droop from one side to the next. Just roll it forward from left to right. Taking your chin to your chest. Just gentle rolls. Creating length in the back of your neck as you come forward. And come back to center. Just look straight ahead on the inhale. Let's all take our arms and lift them. So arms are either side of our ears. Just really try and lift up and touch the ceiling. Just wake up the fingers. And I'm going to start to just swing the right arm down so it comes behind the left arm. And then come into eagle arm. So your right arm is behind your left arm. If you can, place your right hand just inside of the left hand, then go for it. And let's try and lift your elbows up. So just a line of your chest. If you're not quite there, feel free to take your left forearm so it sits on top of your right arm. Just opening up the shoulders here, creating space in the shoulder blades. Again, if you're in that interlace, try not to droop the arms down, trying to lift the elbows up. So it's a line with your shoulder blades. Start to point the fingers towards the ceiling, just to find a bit more space in the shoulders. And then release out. So we're going to just swing the arms back up. So we're sitting again nice and tall. And this time we're going to swing down and you're taking that left arm behind the right arm this time. So your right elbow sit on top of your left elbow. This time your left hand is just touching the inside of your right hand. And again, inhale to lengthen up. So come to eagle arms on the other side. Again, feel free to take the modified pose, where you place your right arm on top of your left. Again, really be conscious here, just not to just slouch down. Just try and sit nice and tall. Keep your elbows in line with your shoulder blades. And on exhale, release the arms down. Let's go up one more. And release your hands back down towards the mat. So let's turn and face forward. If you're not already, we're going to come into our tabletop position. So you place your hands underneath your shoulders, knees tucked underneath your hips, and we're going to just take a few cat and cows. So on the inhale, barrel the belly down. Take your gaze towards the front diagonal, and on the exhale, draw in your abdomen. Take your gaze towards your navel as you curl into that angry cat position. And let's take the reverse. So you're undulating through your body, finding space and movement in your back. And on the exhale, pressing your hands into the mat as you take your gaze again to your navel. Let's go for one more. Inhale to barrel the belly down, really tucking your elbows, trying to have your elbows flaring out. Inhale to look up. Exhale. We'll come to angry cat pose. And relaxing to neutral end. As we always do, let's just take a quick freestyle here. So just find movement as your body sees fit. So you might be taking a figure of 8 with the hips. When you find any sort of tightness, you want to hold it there for a couple of seconds, please feel free to do so. You might want to rock forwards and back from the hips. You start to warm up your wrists. And together, let's all meet in our tabletop. We're going to come into thread the needle. So your hands are at hip distance, your knees are hip distance. Place your left hand just a bit more towards the center of the mat. On the inhale, we're going to take our right hand and open up our chest towards the right side, taking our right arm towards the sky. And on the exhale, start to bring that right arm down. And then just thread it behind that left wrist. And let's just bring our shoulder down towards the mat. Feel free to use your left hand for any sort of support if you're not quite reaching. You're not balancing your neck here, just finding a nice stretch into your shoulders. If you want to level up, feel free just to lengthen out through that left leg. You can, if it's there for you, only if it's there for you, lift your left hand, left arm up towards the ceiling. And then maybe even just wrap that left hand behind the lower back. But feel free just to stay in that first position. You're not competing with anyone. You're not competing with yourself. And on the exhale, let's all come out. So place your left hand back down on the mat if it's not there already. And let's find ourselves back into our neutral position now, tabletop. Let's just take the other side. So I'm going to place that right hand a bit more towards center. On the inhale, let's open up the body towards the left side of the room. That left arm goes nice and high. To gaze up towards the left hand. On the exhale, start to bring that left arm down and thread that left hand, left arm behind that right wrist. Dropping down towards our left shoulder. Again, feel free to stay here. If you want to level up, just lengthen out through that right leg, coming up behind the tiptoes. And maybe so if it's there for you, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Whatever pose you're in, just hold it for a couple more seconds. Your arms up towards the sky. Feel free to take that wrap around the lower back. Don't forget your breath here. And together, let's place our right hand back down on the mat if it's not there already. On the inhale, let's come up. And we will meet again in our tabletop. Let's go for one more cat and cow. So on the inhale, we're going to bow the belly down again. Look up towards the front diagonal. On exhale, curl. And take your gaze towards your navel. And let's relax and come back to a neutral. We're going to curl the toes under. Lift our knees up off the mat. And come into our first downward facing dog, inverted V. So you want to find a sense of balance in terms of your weight distribution between your hands and your feet. You're not too far forward on the hands, not too far back on the feet. Just feel nice and grounded here. And create that intention of drawing your heels down towards the mat. So your heels may not reach. Again, it's not a requirement of this pose for your heels to reach. Just feel comfortable, and the aim is really try and find length in your back. So really just feel grounded through your hands and push your hands into the mat. Soften through the shoulders, shake out the head. And take your gaze towards the back of the mat. On the inhales, come high on the toes. And then start to step forward towards the front of the mat, staying nice and heavy with the torso and the arms as we will meet at the front in our forward fold. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Let's come into our Ujjayi breath. So I'm going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Let's go for one more inhale. And as you exhale, really feel yourself relaxing. You're softening even more into your knees. On the next inhale, we're going to start to slowly come up. So again, your body staying nice and heavy, your arms. Just giving it the gravity. You're rolling up one vertebra at a time. Let your shoulders just roll back. Finally, your head comes up. Standing nice and tall. In your mountain pose, your Tadasana pose. Your palms are facing forwards. Your feet are hip distance apart. You can just close your eyes for a couple of seconds here. Really feel the mat underneath your feet, or the carpet, the floor underneath your feet here. Feel nice and grounded. And on the inhale, let's start to draw the arms up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands to prayer, and bring your prayer to chest at the center. On the inhale, let's take the hands nice and tall. On exhale, bend from the hips as you come all the way down to our forward fold. Inhale, we're going to come to a halfway lift, the hands to the shins. Lengthen out the arms, take the gaze towards the front of the mat. Roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, place your hands down. Step the left foot back. As you come towards the back of the mat, drop your left knee, uncurl the back toes as we come into our low lunge. So once you feel nice and, again, supported by the mat here, start to lift the arms up. You find yourself in runner's lunge. Take your arms up so they're either side of your ears. You come to a nice stretch on your left hip flexor. Okay, so nice stretch, particularly if you've been out running this morning. I know some people went out on a bicycle in the snow. Kudos to you. You're here for one more breath. And on the exhale, they're going to bring the hands down towards the front of the mat again. Curl the left toes under. Lift up that left knee. And one big leap. Let's take that right leg to meet the left at the back of the mat. We're going to meet in our high plank. So just walk forwards and back on your toes here. At any point, feel free to drop onto the knees. If it's there for you, step nice and high on the toes. Keep the knees off the mat. With your next walk forward, so bend into the elbows as they come down into a low plank. Your elbows at right angles. Let's push up. Dropping our shins to the mat. So we come for our upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back on an exhale. Curl the toes under as we all meet in a downward facing dog. Let's take one deep breath in and exhale out through the nose. On the next inhale, let's lift that left leg so it's parallel with the mat. And on the exhale, draw the knee all the way through. We're going to come down this time onto the right knee. The left foot comes to the front of the mat. Uncurl the right toes as we come into low lunge on the right side. Again, once you're nice and grounded, inhale to take your arms up. They're nice and tall. Feel free to lean that body a bit further forward. This time you should be feeling a nice stretch in your right hip flexor. And on the exhale, bring the hands down towards the mat. And then start to walk the hands back. Should come up high into that left heel. For a quick hamstring stretch. Find ourselves into half splits. Start to walk the hands forward, bring the torso forward. Try and keep your back straight here. Really draw your toes in towards your face. Just to come a bit more into your hamstring here. And on the exhale, bend that left knee. Walk the body forward, come up high into the back toes. And one big leap. Let's all meet at the front of the mat. We're going to take a halfway lift here. So take the hands to the shins, roll the shoulders back, lengthen up through the arms. And on the exhale, come into our forward fold. On the inhale, bend into knees. Let's go nice and toward the body. Taking the hands to the ceiling. And on the exhale, bring the hands in prayer to a center of our chest. Inhale to go up. Exhale, bend from the hips as you come all the way down again. Inhale to come to a halfway lift. Hands to the shins, roll the shoulders back, lengthen out through the arms. Exhale, bring our hands down. This time, we're going to take our right foot all the way back towards the back of the mat. Drop onto that right knee. Uncurl the right toes. Again, once you feel grounded, start to lift up the arms. So we find ourselves again into runner's lunge on the right side. This time you might be able to find a bit more space to lean a bit further forward, to come into more of a stretch into our hips. And on exhale, bring the hands down towards the front of the mat. Curl the right toes under, lift up that right knee. And one big leap, take that left foot to meet the right foot at the back of the mat. And walk forwards and back on the toes. On the next walk forwards, again, feel free to drop the knees. Or together, let's all come down to a low plank by bending into the elbows. We're going to push through and come up to an upward facing dog. You can draw your chest through your arms. Relax the shoulders. And on the exhale, curl the toes under as we will meet in that downward facing dog. On the next in-breath, this time I'm going to lift our right leg up so it's parallel with the mat. And on the exhale, again, draw that knee forward, bring that right foot to sit at the front of the mat. Let's drop onto that left knee. Uncurl the left toes as we find ourselves in our low lunge. Start to bring our arms up again. So that either side of the ears, as we did on the other side, maybe just a bit more room to find more of a stretch into that left hip flexor. Feel free to hold it here for a couple more breaths. There might be a slight back bend here for you. Start to shine your chest out towards the sky. And on the exhale, bring your hands to the front of the mat. Let's start to walk the torso back as we come up high on the right heel this time. Lengthen out through that right leg. Remember to curl your right toes in towards your face as we find ourselves coming to a nice stretch into the right hamstring. So you find ourselves in half splits. Feel free to walk the torso forward, the hands forward, just a little bit to come into more of a stretch. Together, let's walk the hands forward, bend into that right knee, curl the left toes under, lift that left knee off the mat, and then jump that right foot to meet the left at the back of the mat. Let's bend into elbows for a low plank. Push through and come up into an upward facing dog. Again, relax the shoulders here. Curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. On that next inhale, and then lift that right leg up. Again, so it's parallel with the mat. And on the exhale, we're going to draw that right knee all the way through. Again, stepping that right foot. So it's at the front of the mat. This time we're staying up high with our left knee. We're going to come into a crescent lunge. So our left leg is, nice and straight. You're high on your left toes, embrace any shakes or wobbles you might have. You're bending into that right knee. Once you feel nice and grounded, lift your arms up towards your ears again. Really find engagement through your left quad. So turn your left quad to help you with your stability. On your next breath, we're going to start to bring our arms down and find the interlace of our hands behind our lower back. On the inhale, start to lengthen out the arms and shine your chest up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, let's bring the hands down towards the front of the mat. We're going to step that right foot all the way back to meet that left foot as we all meet in high plank. Well done. On the inhale, we're going to rock forwards onto the toes, bend into the elbows as we come down for a low plank. Again, feel free to take the modification. On the inhale, let's come up for our upward facing dog. Again, soften through the shoulders. And on the exhale, curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in through the nose and exhale out. Let's take the other side. So on the inhale, this time we're lifting that left leg up, so it's parallel to the mat. Curling your toes in towards your face, and on your next breath, drawing that left knee all the way through, bringing that left sole of the foot so it sits at the front of the mat. You're high on your right toes. Again, once you feel nice and grounded, maintain that bend in that left knee. That right leg might be straight. If you need to take a slight bend in that right knee, feel free to go for that. Otherwise, really push that through that back heel. On the inhale, let's all together draw our arms up towards the ceiling. So our biceps at either side of our ears. Don't forget to switch off. Don't forget, switch on your right quad here. You're nice and tall in your back toes. And your next breath, start to bring the arms down. And then take your hands again into an interlace just behind your lower back. On the inhale, lengthen out the arms. Start to shine your chest up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, bring the hands forward towards the front of the mat. Let's jump that left foot back to meet the right foot as we all meet in our high plank. On the next inhale, let's rock forwards to the toes. We're going to bend into the elbows for a low plank. Let's push up. into our upward facing dog. And on the exhale, curl the toes under for our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. On the next inhale, let's take that right foot up again. So it's parallel with the mat. And on the exhale, again, we're drawing it through, stepping that right foot in front of the mat as we all come into crescent lunge again, our high lunge. So again, stay high on those back toes, maintain that bend in that front knee. Once you feel grounded, start to bring your arms up, so either side of your ears. Really briefly on the fingers, so nice and tall through your torso. Engage through your lower abdomen here, so drawing your navel. Releases pressure off your lower back. And your next breath, let's start to take the arms again behind and find our hands into an interlace. Lengthen up through the arms. As on the inhale, we shine our chest up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're going to come into warrior three. So maintain your arms and your hands in that interlace. And you're going to jump up and find yourself balancing on your right foot here. You're taking that Superman or Superwoman pose. Your arms in the interlace behind your lower back. If you fall out, don't worry, it's all good. You want to take your arms into that Superwoman position or Superman position. You might take your hands into prayer in the center of your chest. Just see if you can just maintain that balance here. And on your next breath, let's all drop back as we all meet again in a high lunge. Let's draw our arms up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, let's cartwheel the hands down. I'm going to step that right foot to meet our left foot at the back of the mat. So well done. Good balance and good holding. On the inhale, let's walk forward into the toes. On the exhale, let's bend into the elbows for a low plank. I'm going to push up. It's our upward facing dog. And when you're ready, on your exhale, and curl the toes under as you all meet again in our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, see if you've got any more room to relax and soften and draw your heels a bit further towards the mat. On your next breath, let's take the side. So we're going to inhale to lift that left leg up. Left leg is parallel with the mat. Again, you're switching on your toes by curling them in towards your face. And on your next breath, let's start to draw that knee all the way through. Placing the left sole of the foot at the front of the mat. You're staying high on your back toes here. Once you're nice and grounded, let's all meet in our crescent lunge by lifting our torso up off that left thigh. Maintain that bend in that left knee. On the inhale, we're drawing our arms up towards the ceiling again. Again, don't forget to, as much as you can, find engagement in your lower belly, in your lower abdomen. Nice and tall and strong for your torso. And on your next breath, let's start to drop our arms down and all the way back until you find an interlace behind your lower back. On the inhale, lengthen out through the arms as we shine our chest up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, find your balance. I'm going to jump forward and come into warrior three. As we find our balance on that left foot. So that right leg is now parallel with the mat. Curling those back toes in towards your face. If you want to help yourself with your balance, then take your arms into that cake position. You're taking your gaze down towards the mat or towards the floor. Maybe take your hands into prayer position in the center of your chest. And on your next breath, Let's just drop that right foot down, back towards the back of the mat. So we find ourselves again in crescent lunge. Just take the arms up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, together, let's bring our hands down towards the front of the mat. Gonna jump that left foot back, all the way towards the back of the mat, as we will find ourselves in high plank. Let's sort of pause on the toes. Gonna bend into the elbows for a low plank and hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. Let's push back up into high plank and hold it there for 3, for 2, for 1. This time, everyone drop onto your knees. If you can keep your knees up, you want to keep your knees up, go for it. Again, I'm going to bend into the elbows for the modified pose here. Come to low plank for 3, for 2, for 1. And push up. Again, for 3, for 2, for 1. Let's take one more. Again, either the knees down or the knees up. Together, let's all come down for 3, for 2, for 1. And come up into our high plank again for 3, for 2, for 1. Now everyone drop into your knees. Uncurl your toes here. Bend into the elbows as we come down towards the mat. Let's push straight up into an upward facing dog. Softening through the shoulders. And on the exhale, and come into a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Remember, at any point you can come into child's pose. Otherwise, just come to stillness into your down dog here. Just noticing your breath going in to your lungs and out as you breathe out through your nose. Again, soften through the shoulders here. This time we're going to come up again onto our left toes as we come up and lift our right leg up so it's parallel to the mat. And on the exhale, draw that knee all the way through. Let's again meet in our high lunge. So again, you're feeling nice and grounded for that right foot. You're high on your back toes. Start to lift your torso up off that right thigh. Let's take our arms up towards the ceiling on the inhale. And on the exhale, let's come to the interlace. On the inhale, shine our chest up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, let's jump forward as we'll meet in warrior 3. That left leg is parallel to the mat. On your next breath, let's all drop back into our crescent lunge. This time I'm going to release the grip. I'm going to turn around and pivot your feet so your feet are facing forwards in the same direction as your body. So we'll find ourselves in a wide-legged position now. Maybe angle your feet in so your feet are slightly pigeon-toed. Lengthen that through your legs. On the inhale, and take our arms up towards the ceiling. And on exhale, bring them down so they're in a cactus position. So effectively, your elbows are right angle. On the inhale, let's open up our chest towards the ceiling. And on exhale, start to bend from the hips. You aim to stick your bum back. You're bending from the hips as you're bringing your torso forward. If you've got a block or a bottle of water, you want to add a little bit of stability, feel free to use it. Place it just in front of your chest. And if it's there for you, you've got a bit more room to open up the legs. Then feel free to go for that. If you can reach the floor with your hands, then just place them underneath your chest. Start to, again, draw your chest a bit closer towards the mat. Any position here is good. So again, don't try and compete with yourself. Just listen to your body today and again, go towards your edge. Finding openness here in your hamstrings. You might want to take your hands to their respective feet. Just enjoy the opening your you're creating here in your hips and the length you're finding in your hamstrings. Remember, you're bending from the hips. So on the inhale, let's lengthen a little bit, look a bit further forward. On the exhale, see if you've got any more room to bend. On the inhale, let's all come to a halfway lift. Feel free to use, again, a block or a bottle of water to help you come up. And on your next breath, start to walk the feet in. Just give them a 90s shuffling. Let's come all the way up towards center. We're going to come into a very quick balancing pose and come into tree pose. So bring your feet together. Place your hands forward, so all into Tadasana. I'm going to start by feeling nice and grounded through the left foot. Really open up through the toes. Look down at your toes, open them up. Span your toes out onto the mat. Really use the whole space of your foot to feel grounded. In your next breath, we're going to take our right leg up. You would take the right sole of the foot to the inside of the left calf. What is there for you, you can take the right sole of the foot and place it inside of your left thigh. Again, if you fall out, just come straight back in. You want to avoid placing your foot on your knee here. So you take your foot to your left calf, or your foot to the inside of your left thigh. Feel free to hold that right foot if you need it for a bit of stability, or let's all come into bringing our hands into prayer into the center of our chest. As you're standing here, consciously just start to feel as if you can open up through your hips a bit more. So you bring your right knee a bit further back. You want to test your balance. See if you can close your eyes and see what that does. See if that creates another sensation. You might fall out like I have. If you do, it's all good. Let's all bring our right foot down. On the inhale, we're going to take our arms all up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, bend from the hips as you come down to our forward fold. So letting gravity take control. Just feel nice and loose through your upper body. Then take a big toe grab. So going to bend as much as you need to into your knees. If you're not quite reaching the floor, reaching the toes, just bend as much as you need to. And then take your two piece fingers and then wrap them around your respective big toes. So remember, if you're not reaching, bend into your knees so you can take that interlace. Just tuck your elbows into the outside of the knees. On the inhale, let's all take a gaze and look about 2 feet in front of your mat. And on the exhale, using the grip of your big toes, see if you can start to find length again in your hamstrings here by bringing your forehead a bit closer towards your shins. Again, you're just going towards your edge here. That may or may not reach. In most cases like mine, I'm not anywhere nearly there, but I can still feel the stretch in my hamstrings. Just using the interlace of the hands to create a bit of resistance. So I can feel that tension and stretching the back of my legs. To find a bit more room, just engage through your quads. And that finds a bit more space. And then relax. Release your big toes. If you're not facing the front of your mat, let's turn and face the front of the mat. Let's come to a halfway lift, hands to the shins, roll the shoulders back. Let's come to a halfway lift. On the exhale, bring our hands down. Let's step the left foot back, step the right foot back as we all meet in a high plank. Sort of forwards into the toes, bend into the elbows as you come down for a low plank. Let's push up. Let's come to our upward facing dog. Curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. Well done, guys. This time I'm going to take the opposite side. So it's left foot to lift, so it's parallel of the mat. And then draw that knee through. And step that left foot so it comes and sits at the front of the mat. We want to come into a high lunge here. You're lifting your torso up off your left knee. On the inhale, draw your arms up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bring the arms back and take the interlace. On the inhale, shine your chest up towards the sky. Lengthen up through the arms, maintain that bend that left knee. And on the exhale, let's come up. And then just take one big leap and find that balance this time onto that left foot. Again, your right leg is parallel off the floor. You have one more breath. Well done, guys. Whoops. On your next breath, drop onto your right toes, not onto your right knees. Drop onto your right toes. Again, shine your chest up towards the ceiling. And then release your grip. And then turn and face the other side. So I've got my back to you, it's going to turn around so you can see me. So again, you're turning your left foot and your right foot in, and we're all meeting again in our wide-legged forward fold. This time I'm going to take our hands to our hips here. On the inhale, shine our chest up towards the sky, rolling the shoulders back, and on the exhale, using your hands, just feel your hips shifting forward here as you're bending from the hips. And again, you're coming to a wide-legged forward fold. Again, feel free to use a block. If your hands are reaching the floor. From here, we're going to just take and shift our body from left to right. So you're keeping the soles of your feet on the floor and just motioning your body from left to right to find a bit of space in our hips and a gentle stretch into our legs. Don't forget to breathe here. Relax the jaw. Try not to have any grip in the jaw. You're not trying to force this. And on your next breath, let's all come into center. Move the block to one side. Again, let's come into a halfway lift, just looking just in front of the mat. And your next breath, let's come up high. Again, give it a nice shuffle. Bring your feet in towards the center of the mat. This time we're taking a tree pose on the left side. So you're taking the left side of the foot, this time to the inside of the right calf. If it's there for you, take it to the inside of your right thigh. Once you're nice and grounded again for that right foot, take your hands into prayer towards the center of the chest. Whoops. And again, feel free to close your eyes here to test your balance. If you fall out like I'm about to, it's all good. Let's all find ourselves again standing Tadasana. Let's lift our arms up towards the ceiling. On the inhale, on the exhale, bend from the hips as we come to our forward fold again. This time take your feet so hip distance apart. Again, bend as much as you need to in your knees. We're going to take the underside of our hands so they just slip underneath the soles of our feet as we come to gorilla pose. So again, really bend into your knees so you can find that reach. On the inhale, lengthen up through the arms, take your gaze just about a foot in front of your feet. And on the exhale, start to release the head back down towards the mat. And use that resistance to create length again in the back of your legs. Maybe if your toes are at the crease of your ribs, just give them a gentle massage. Just engage through your toes. And then release the hands. Then slowly start to come up, one vertebra at a time. This will come and stand and meet at the front of our mat. Gently start to come into a gentle bend. Bend as much as you can in your knees until you can't bend anymore. And then take your bum to the mat. Slowly we're going to start to bring our back down so it's flat on the mat. Release your legs. So your whole body is long here. Take your arms up and over your head. Take one big stretch. So if you're waking up in the morning, getting ready for a 9 o'clock meeting you don't want to have, just really stretch. Tense up all the muscles in your body. Tense your hands, your toes, your quads. And then relax. Let's go one more. Really engage every muscle. Feel as if someone's squeezing lemon into your eyes and you're squeezing up your face. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And relax. Just bring your arms so they're sitting either side of your body here. So we come into our final pose, Shavasana. Just close your eyes. Release your Ujjayi breathing. And whilst you're here, just let go of any thoughts. Give yourself the time to enjoy being out of your head. Again, let go of any troubles from the week or concerns for the week ahead. Just know that whilst you're lying here, everything right now at this moment is perfect. Feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as you might want. Otherwise, bring your knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up and towards your knees. And start to give your lower back a gentle massage. And then just rock up. And then come into a seated position or onto your knees as we started at the beginning. Again, just close your eyes. Place your hands on your thighs here, on your knees. You're in a seated position. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through the mouth. Just bring your hands into prayer, into the center of the chest. Thank yourself for rocking up again for a quick 45 minutes today on Sunday. Thank you for being present for one another, supporting each other virtually, and wishing everyone an amazing week ahead. Thank you. Done. All done and dusted for another Sunday. Again, if you're still in Shavasana, feel free to stay there. I would be if this wasn't a recorded class. Yeah, I went a little bit over today. Sorry about that. Now, blessings to one and all. Thanks again for rocking up. Again, you can practice this at any time, but the beauty of doing this at 12:30 on a Sunday is like we're all doing this together. There's a sense of togetherness, whilst there's so much isolation right now of all the various lockdowns around the world. So yeah, thanks for again rocking up and giving each other the Sunday morning chat. My laptop was too far away, so I can see stuff moving. But anyway, say a word up to one another. Again, please do let me know of any feedback. I know there's a corner for abs potentially for next week. If there's any other suggestions, drop me a note in the comments or let me know on Instagram. But yeah, again, my name is Mark. Thanks again for tuning in, and blessings to one and all for supporting. Word up to Lydia. Sherry. Thank you, Sherry, for walking up. Yeah, have a great Sunday. And I will see you 12:30 next week. Thank you.